In today's video, we'll be doing a comparison between Jasper AI and Bramework. Jasper AI, or formerly known as Jarvis AI, is considered to be one of the leading companies in the AI copywriting space. They have thousands of 5-star reviews and a large and growing fan base. Bramework, on the other hand, is a fairly new but very impressive AI copywriting software that is focused on creating high-quality blog posts. So let's go ahead and take a look at both of these AI copywriters and see if Bramework is comparable or possibly even better than Jarvis. And stick around because at the end of this video, I'm going to give both of these AI copywriters an overall score and make my suggestions as to which one of these AI copywriters may be best suited for you and your situation. I first came across Bramework on AppSumo, and currently there is a lifetime deal for $79 one-time payment. And while it's not unlimited, if you wanted to add more words, then you can upgrade to a license 2 or a license tier 3. So for instance, if you wanted to get over 100,000 AI generated words per month, then that would be a one-time purchase of $160. If you wanted to get 200,000 words within your plan, then that would be a one-time payment of $240. And I believe the highest tier is 500,000 words for a one-time purchase of $400. So if you are writing a lot of content using this AI copywriter, then getting a lifetime deal in the long run would be much cheaper. If it's still available, I'll leave a link in the description below for the lifetime deal for Bramework. But if the lifetime deal is expired, this is the regular monthly pricing. So if you wanted to get 40,000 AI generated words and you have all these features included, that would be $29 per month, and that's the starter plan. And for $59 per month, you would get 100,000 AI generated words each month. And if you wanted an unlimited plan, it's $119 per month. And if we compare that to Jasper, we can see right away that there's a couple main differences. In Jasper, there's two different plans. So there's the starter and there's the boss mode. On the boss mode plan, this is where you'd be able to write long form content such as blog posts. And the starter plan, or the most basic plan on the boss mode, is $59 per month, and that gives you 50,000 words. So again, if we compare that to Bramework, for $59 per month, we get double times the words. But we also have to keep in mind that we're not going to get all of the features and templates that's included in Jasper AI, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But if you needed more AI content generation, for 100,000 words, it would be $99 per month. And again, if we take a look at that, there's really no comparison, but for $119, which would be $19 more, you'd be able to get an unlimited plan for $19 more, which would be $119 on Bramework. So as you can see, Jasper is definitely a higher priced AI copywriter, and the most expensive plan is $279 per month for 300,000 words. So right off the bat, we can see that Jasper AI is much more expensive when we compare this to Bramework. And this is just the monthly plans of Bramework. If you went ahead and get the lifetime deal from AppSumo, then it would be much, much cheaper. But on Jasper AI, you're able to get a lot more templates that's not currently included in Bramework. So let's go ahead and see what's actually included in both Jasper AI and Bramework. We'll also leave a link in the description below in which you can get a free trial for both Jasper AI and Bramework. So the first main difference between Jasper AI and Bramework are the templates that's included. Bramework strictly focuses on creating high quality long form content. So their templates are mostly for creating blog posts, articles, ebooks, and any other types of long form content. And while 95% of the content creation that's done on AI copywriters are for long form content, but if you wanted to write short form copy such as product descriptions, Facebook ads, Google ads, and any other sort of short form template, that's not currently included in Bramework. Bramework has really good long form templates such as the AI writing assistant, the AI blog titles, AI blog outlines, and keyword research tools, but unfortunately, there's not any templates that you can use to write short form copy. While on Jasper AI, there's a ton of different other templates in which you can choose to write short form copy depending on the scenario in which you're writing about. So you can write copies for emails, for websites, for ads, for social media, for Google, for SEO, and so on. So now that you know what templates are included in Jasper and in Bramework, let's go ahead and start doing some comparison between the quality of the AI content. To do so, I'm going to create a long form blog post using the long form assistant in Jasper AI, and I'll be comparing that to the AI writing assistant in Bramework. On Jasper AI, we're going to use the long form assistant, and we're going to select the blog post workflow. Now, we're going to describe the content that we want to create, and by using the blog post workflow, we should be able to start creating our content pretty easily. So first, we're going to describe the blog post in which we'll be writing about. So for this blog post, we'll be writing a guide on how to buy your first home as a beginner or a first-time home buyer. So I've added in some relevant keywords such as first-time home buyer, tips for buying a home, how to buy a home, and then we're going to go ahead and click continue. And the second section will give us a title. So it's going to use the information from above and create a title based on the information that we inputted above. So it's all the same here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use any one of these. And the third section, it's going to give us an intro paragraph. So again, it's going to grab all of the information from above and give us some content for our intro paragraph. So let's go ahead and read through all of these intro paragraphs and find whichever one we like the best. And we can use that one to start our blog post. Okay, so all of these are actually pretty good intro paragraphs. I like this one the best. They're all kind of the same, but they're sort of right on the money in terms of what we're writing about. Okay, so we've set up our blog post on Jasper AI. We have a nice intro paragraph. We have our titles, our content description, and our keywords. So let's head back over to Bramework. And again, we're going to use the AI writing assistant. We're going to create a new post. And we first need to enter the keyword in which we're writing about. So I'm going to head back over here, how to buy a home, and I'm going to go ahead and click continue. So we get a nice green check mark here, which tells us that there is a high probability that the content generated will be good quality output. So the AI has been trained on this topic. Now we have to select the keywords to include in our blog post. So the AI will give you a couple suggested keywords, but you can also add in any additional keywords here. So we have 3 keywords. I think we can do up to 5. So let's go ahead and put a couple more. Okay, so once you have the relevant keywords selected, we're going to go ahead and click create. Our blog post is now set up, and on the right-hand side, we have the assistant. And the assistant will help us to create our titles and our outlines. So they already have some titles for us right here. So we just have to click the generate more button because some of the titles were for our previous blog post that we did. If you want to see that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. But we're writing about how to buy a house. So how to buy a house, the ultimate guide for a first-time home buyer. Okay, I think that one's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and click the plus button. And as you can see, our title is now included in our blog post. And if we head over to outlines, again, these are the outlines for our old blog post. I don't really like how these are still here. They should be removed, but I don't know if that was just a bug. But it's gone now. So the introduction talks about, are you in the market for a home? If so, this guide is for you. In this blog post, we'll cover the entire home buying process from start to finish, blah, blah, blah. And then it actually has some pretty good steps here and a conclusion. So I'm going to go ahead and add that outline. Again, if I want more outlines, I can generate more right here. But I think this one's actually pretty good. So our blog post is now set up on Bramework. And as you can see, it's a little different compared to Jarvis. On Jarvis, we don't get that option for the outline right away, but if you wanted to create an outline, it's very simple. So head over to the power mode, and on the power mode, I'm going to head over to the blog post outline, and in the blog post outline, I'm going to describe the post in which we're writing about. And you can also change the tone of voice to whatever you like on Jarvis AI. I don't really see that option to change the tone of voice on Bramework, but it's not something that I use very often, so I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it would be nice to have that included in Bramework. So these are the outlines that we got. And again, if you want some more outlines, just go ahead and click generate AI content. So these are all pretty similar. The first one talks about determining how much you can afford, research neighborhoods that fit your budget, get pre-approved for a mortgage, make an offer on a home, If we scroll down, what to do before you start looking for a home, how to find the right neighborhood for you, what to look for when touring potential homes, the mortgage process explained, how to make an offer on a house and closing costs. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that and paste it into our blog post. So let's go ahead and compare the intro and the outline that we got from Jasper AI compared to Bramework. Okay, so right off the bat, I can see that the intro that we got from Bramework is a lot shorter than the one that we got from Jarvis AI. But both of the intro paragraphs are very relevant and they set up the blog post very nicely. So I would say the content itself is pretty good from both AI content writers, but I do find with Bramework you get a lot less content, but it's more targeted and relevant content. So just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and take a look at the outlines that we got from Bramework and from Jarvis. So step 1, figure out your budget. Step 2, check your credit score. Step 3, get pre-approved for a mortgage. Step 4, start shopping for homes. So this is the outline that we got from Bramework. Over to Jasper, the outline looks like this. What to look for when buying a home, how to get pre-approved for a mortgage, what to do if you're not sure about which neighborhood to choose, the importance of home inspections, how much money you should budget for closing costs, and tips for decorating your new home on a budget. I like the outlines from Jasper a little bit better because I feel like it's a little bit more detailed when compared to Bramework. But again, this is just a preference. I don't think there's much to really separate both content writers for this specific topic. I'm fairly happy with both of the outlines that we got. So let's go ahead and compare the content that we get for the first paragraphs of the blog post. So to get content from Bramework, you want to go ahead and highlight the topic in which you're writing about, and then you want to click the paragraph button. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you some content based upon the title in which you highlighted. So for step 1, this is the content that we get when you're ready to buy a house. The first step is to figure out how much your budget is. This includes how much you can afford to spend as well as how much you can borrow. So there's a number of ways to figure out your budget, and they give you a couple ways in which you can do so. Once you have a good idea of your budget and what you can afford, it's time to start looking for houses. Now, if you want to get more content from Bramework, there's 2 ways in which you can do so. First, you can hit this green compose button and the AI will start writing, or you can select the last couple of words for that sentence and hit paragraph. So the content is pretty good, but again, it's a little short. And I find that that is probably the only complaint that I have so far for Bramework, is that the content just isn't that long. So let's go ahead and try to get some content for the first step within our blog post on Jarvis. And to get content on Jarvis, there's a couple of ways in which you can do so. First is you can just click the compose button and the AI will start writing. And the cool thing about Jasper is that you can just go ahead and click on clicking the compose button. So you can get a lot more content from Jasper AI. So first, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the content to see if it was relevant and high quality. So what to look for when you're buying a home. When you're buying a home, it's important to be realistic about your needs and budget. And it's also important to think about the location of the home. Okay, that's really good. When looking at homes, make sure to take into account the following factors: the size of the home, the age of the home, the neighborhood, the price. When looking at homes, it's always important that you can always make changes. So don't be afraid to consider a home that may need a little bit of work. Okay, so this is actually a really good paragraph that we got here from Jarvis. So again, this is the differences that you find between Jasper AI and other new AI copywriters. Jasper AI has been in the copywriting space for a pretty long time. So the quality of their content is really good because the AI is very advanced. For new AI copywriters, it takes a little bit of time for the AI to get really good. We would have to write another sentence here in order to get this number to 100%, and then this would become green, and then we can start writing some more content. So for instance, if we wanted to expand this paragraph and talk about what the best online calculator is to finding your budget, we would start that sentence and then you can highlight it and click paragraph. And now the AI should give us some content based upon that sentence. So there's a few online calculators available that can help you figure out your budget for buying a new home. The most popular and user-friendly is Zillow. This calculator will allow you to input information about the size, location, and type of home you're interested in buying. So again, this is a really, really good paragraph, very on point and relevant to what we're writing about. But as you can see, to get content from Bramework is a little bit more difficult compared to Jarvis. With Jarvis, all I have to do is go to that section and then just hit the compose button. And the AI will continue writing and giving me some pretty good content. based upon the title in which I'm writing about. So it's very user-friendly, very easy to use. Another way to expand a paragraph is to highlight the last couple of words and then hit paragraph. And the AI again should be able to give you some more content based upon the paragraph in which you highlighted. So as you can see, there are some ways in which you can get more content using Bramework, but again, you just have to know how to use the AI copywriter. So in terms of ease of use and how beginner friendly each one of these AI copywriters are, I would have to give it to Jarvis or Jasper AI. The ability to just be able to click the compose button and always be able to generate some content just makes it so much easier if you're a beginner or new to using AI copywriter. So for ease of use, I would have to pick Jasper over Bramework. Now let's go ahead and compare some other features between Jarvis or Jasper AI and Bramework. The first feature that really stands out on Bramework that's not included in Jasper AI is the ability to check for plagiarism. On all of the plans of Bramework, you have a built-in plagiarism checker. So once you're finished creating your content, you can go ahead and click that, and you will actually be able to see if there's any copyrighted or plagiarized information in your article. So you can be assured that if there is plagiarized content within your blog post, that you'll be able to find it using this checker. So this is a really, really cool feature that's included in Bramework, but not included in Jasper AI. Now there is a built-in option on Jasper AI, but you would have to pay for this. So you'd have to buy credits, and then you can use those credits to check for plagiarism within your blog post. So really neat feature that's included in Bramework, and this will definitely save you some time and money when doing your checks for plagiarized content. Another really cool feature that's included in Bramework is the ability to analyze keywords. So you just want to paste the topic or keyword in which you're writing about and hit the search bar, and you'd get some really, really important information about that keyword. So for instance, if you wanted to write a blog post about keto pancakes, then you would be able to know that each month there's over 30,000 people that search up that keyword on Google. You'd also be able to see the level of difficulty. Ideally, you'd want to find a keyword with a low difficulty, because the higher the number, the harder it will be for you to rank for that keyword in the top position of Google. I wouldn't really worry much about this number. You want to focus on the difficulty of ranking in the organic Google SERP. And if you scroll down, you'd be able to see the trend of this keyword over time. So you can see in which months the keyword was most popular and which months the keywords are the least popular. And below that will be some variations of the keyword in which you searched up. And this is a great way to find other variations of keywords that might be more easier for you to rank for. And if you scroll down, you'll see the top questions that people ask. And the last section will show you the top 10 ranking blog posts. So these are the top 10 blog posts that rank for the keyword of keto pancakes. So this is great information. So you have a better idea of what you should include within your blog post. If you don't have access or use any other keyword tool, this will be a great way to start doing some keyword research right within your AI copywriter. And this is a feature that's unique to Bramework and that's not included in Jasper AI. So in summary, if we're comparing pricing between Jasper AI and Bramework, I would have to give it to Bramework. And the reason is that even if you're not looking at the AppSumo lifetime deal, their monthly plan is a lot cheaper. But just keep in mind that on Bramework, there's no templates to do short form content. In terms of ease of use or how beginner friendly each one of these AI copywriters are, I would have to give that to Jarvis. While Bramework did give us some good content, it was harder to get longer content from it. So because of that, Jasper AI is much more easier to use and beginner friendly. Now let's talk about the quality of output between Jasper AI and Bramework. Based on the examples that we did within this video, there wasn't much to separate Bramework from Jasper in terms of quality. I thought that we got pretty good quality from both AI copywriters. But in Jasper AI, we got a lot more quantity in terms of content, and the content was really high quality as well. So because of that, I'm going to give the quality of output to Jasper. And again, Jasper is a much older, much more advanced AI copywriter, so you would expect to get much higher quality content. But for a fairly new AI copywriter, I was very impressed by the quality of output that I was able to get from Bramework. And with that being said, I would give Jasper a score of 19 out of 20, and I would give Bramework a score of 18 out of 20. We'll leave a free trial for both Jasper AI and Bramework in the description below. So go ahead, use it for yourself, and see whichever one you like the best.